front of a capacity crowd. 5 lights are on. It's lights out, away we go. Verstappen does get away well.
The top three here, Hamilton, Vettel, Verstappen, 13 world championships between them. Count them, down to you. Yeah, well, 7 for Hamilton, 4 for Vettel, 2 for Verstappen, 13, that makes 13. Nice one, Griffin, not too shabby.
In a few moments' time, we have the green flag, and in front of a capacity crowd, 5 lights are on. It's lights out, away we go. Verstappen does get away well.
The top three here, Hamilton, Vettel, Verstappen, 13 world championships between them. Count them, down to you. Yeah, well, 7 for Hamilton, 4 for Vettel, 2 for Verstappen, 13, that makes 13. Nice one, Griffin, not too shabby.
In a few moments' time, we have the green flag, and in front of a capacity crowd, 5 lights are on. It's lights out, away we go. Verstappen does get away well.
The top three here, Hamilton, Vettel, Verstappen, 13 world champions.
Hello all and welcome in to the Tier 2 finale here in round 12. You're joined by me, WHFRO, for the finale here in Yas Marina. 3 drivers can win the title. Will it be Stephen Beecham, Ty Clear, or current championship leader TJ in the Alpine? We will certainly find out as Page retires with a quali ban. We've also got Wes Seaman, who's a newcomer to the league. Although I wonder, can I somehow add a seam from here? I don't think so. Anywho, But we do have Zampa, who has several pole positions so far this season. But yet to see him get a win. Couple opportunities Zampa's had to win this season, but has missed all of them, unfortunately. Similarly to Stephen Beecham. Stephen Beecham's had the most pole positions out of everyone in the league so far. But unfortunately for Stephen, he has no wins this season. He does have, let me double check how many poles he has. He's got 6 poles to his name, but 0 wins. So hopefully Stephen in this finale can get the monkey off his back. Thank you, Dub, for the 300 bits as Zampa starts his lap. And before we do that, let me get the thingamabobs, the correct things added, because I just realized I do not have the correct sound alerts on. There we have it. Back on board with Zampa we go, out of turn 5. Down to turn 6 and 7. And Zampa, unfortunately, missed a couple of races this season, so was never really given an opportunity to challenge for the title. Had a couple of races where he was very quick, had a couple of races where involved in drama and down the order. So hopefully for Zampa, this is one of the races where he is quick and he can avoid any drama and maybe even challenge for a win here, as he now exits turn 9. Foot to the floor for the Williams, and trying to be cautious on traction through the final sector. As we've seen a former Williams spin out at that very corner to cause major drama back in 2021. Can this Williams keep it stable and maybe even stick it on pole? He will go quickest, the 24.9, but will we see other drivers go quicker? We could see TJ, current championship leader, up to the line with a 23.8. That is the benchmark for everyone to try and catch. The Stephen Beecham now up to the line with a 23.7, gone half a tenth quicker than TJ. Very, very intriguing how this one is going to play out. Meanwhile, Wasim on his debut here in the finale here in the Red Bull, as Ho Chi Minh goes quickest with a 23.6. Ho Chi Minh made his debut last time out in Brazil and has been very quick in his first appearance. Meanwhile, Scones up to P5 with a 24.3. Who else do we have out there? Abe in P4 as the V-carb turns in on him. What was that? That was Northy. Don't know what he was doing there. Anywho, let's see who else is on a flyer. Ellis in the final sector. Andrew in the final corner. And around the final corner the Red Bull goes and into P8 as Ledgeman in the final sector. Ledgeman, the driver at risk for penalty points, has 20 penalty points. If he picks up 4 more, he'll be banned for the remainder of the following season, which you would ideally like to avoid. So hopefully Ledgeman can keep his nose clean for this race, so that he doesn't have to serve a season ban next season. We would like to see him in season 6 as Ledgeman up to P10. And meanwhile, we've got Abe, who did have to have some contact with the V-carb there on his run around, but hopefully it can be a bit smoother as he comes around the final corner and up to P4. Last time out finished in P4 with a driver of the day performance from the Algerian. But you can see there's already a bit of a gap there. Meanwhile, Ty Clear only leaving the box now for his first lap as the Alpine in his way almost. I'm not quite sure who that Alpine is. Was it Abe? I believe so. Getting out of his way, that was a bit strange. But you never know. Abe may try something weird to help his Ferrari, to help his Alpine teammate out, and to limit what the Ferraris can do today. Both Ferraris challenging for the title, but it is TJ who leads the championship by a point. And Star, I will send you a screenshot of where he is. But welcome in one and all to this finale race. We'll go on board with P2 in the championship tie clear for this lap. And see what he can do in this one. As Ty now flying through turn 1. As the V-Carb exiting the box just beside Ty. Thankfully doesn't get in his road. Ty now through turn 5, trying to maximize his exit as he goes foot to the floor. Down. All the way to turn 6. DRS open for the Ferrari driver. And currently Ho Chi Minh in P1 is the driver to watch out for. Had a brilliant race last time out, but unfortunately retired early after contact with his teammate, and I can't remember who the other car was, but Ho Chi Minh ended up in the wall and out of the race. But can Ho Chi Minh have a very good race this time out, as he is currently leading by over a tenth ahead of Stephen Beecham. Very quick lap time for the V-Carb. Meanwhile, Ty flying through the final sector here. And can Ty win his first title in WHF? Everyone vying for the title. TJ, Ty and Stephen. It would all be their first title in WHF. Who will be champion here? As Ty now around the final corner up to P4. Just 400ths off TJ, so not too far behind his championship rival. All Ty needs to do this race is finish ahead of TJ and he will be champion. As long as it's not separated by point. Let me double check who wins on countback. Let's see here. Who would win on countback? But TJ invalid on his lap. Will stay with Ho Chi Minh. Seems to be one of the quicker drivers out there today. Meanwhile, Crimson, who has been challenging for the title all this season, unfortunately has missed out. And for this race in the finale, he'll be just trying to practice wheel for next season. Ho Chi Minh, 3/10 of the good here. Where can Ho Chi Minh go? He's sawing away at the wheel. Can Ho Chi Minh improve by 3/10 or more? We will see. Through the final corner, the V-Carb goes. And up to the line. And Ho Chi Minh with a 23.3. That is the time to beat. As Ty Clear comes into the box. But currently, Ho Chi Minh with a very strong pole position here. But let me see how many wins does Ty and TJ have. Let me get it up here. As Crimson all the way up to P7 on his first. As Andrew was P5, but on his first race and wheel, he's really not that far off. That's very impressive from Crimson. Really finding his way up to pace already. Let me see here. TJ's got 3 wins. Ty Clear's got 3 wins as well. So that means it would go down to who has enough P2s. Ty's got 2 P2s. So does TJ. Goes down to P3s. And Ty's got 1 P3. So if it wins on even points, Ty will be the winner, as he'll win on countback by having 1 more P3 than TJ. They're equal on wins, equal on P2s, but Ty has 1 more P3, so all Ty really needs to do this race is finish ahead of TJ, and he will win the championship. Ty's battle is directly with the Alpine. Meanwhile, Stephen is 18 points behind TJ, so essentially needs to win the race, if not at least P2. But even if he got P2, or even if he got the win, he would need something seriously bad to happen, Ty and TJ, in order to be champion. As Stephen out of turn 7, you can hear the wheel spin on this Ferrari as he charges down to turn 9. Can't Stephen get anywhere close to Ho Chi Minh's time currently? Up by just 700ths, so that wouldn't be close to Ho Chi Minh's time as of right now. Meanwhile, Stephen, can he get some extra time out of the final sector here? As he rounds the final corner. Up to the line, where can the Ferrari go? He does improve by 3/10. He's a tenth shy of Ho Chi Minh though. But a big improvement there. Meanwhile, Dub Z up to P3. Big improvement there from the McLaren as Ayub second down on his time. Scones rounding the final corner. Can Scones improve here on his time that's currently P11? Scones up to P8, 2.5 improvement there for the Aston Martin driver. Meanwhile, who else do we have out there? TJ was improving. Can TJ challenge for pole? His battle today is with Ty Clear directly, and he also has to worry in the background about Stephen Beecham, both Ferraris, and he washes out wide and invalid through Latifi corner. So he's going to have to come in again and get on another set of tyres and refuel that car. But currently Ho Chi Minh looking for a pole in his second race, which would be very impressive here. He did say Abu Dhabi is one of his best circuits, but to get it on pole is very impressive. Crimson says, Dub going to need to carry us for this weekend, but you're only half a second off him, Crimson. This is very impressive. This is your second race on wheel that we've seen, and you're only half a second off Dub. That is insane. But the drivers now getting prepared for their final run in qualifying. Ty Clear, one of the first out there. But let's see who is actually first out there. It should be the Mercedes of Ollie Bean, if we can finally find his car. Ollie Bean will be the first driver to set possibly his final lap in qualifying. Won't have enough time to really recharge and go again, or even have enough fuel to go again, unless he has enough fuel spared and makes an invalidation early on. As Crimson says, he's been practicing about an hour or two a day, and we can see it, Crimson. So only move to wheel and be already within half a second of Dub Z is not an easy feat. That is incredible. I am looking forward to seeing Crimson next season. He could have some serious pace. But we'll have to analyse after the season ends. Either way, Ollie Bean into turn 6 through 7. Gets the power down. And where can Ollie Bean go? As I just remembered, I should open the app for this race to make sure that the all the settings are recorded, or all the results are recorded accurately. As Ollie Bean now navigating through the final sector, and it's very close up at the top. You only really see the gap open up around Stephen Beecham and Crimson, as it's pretty close from Dub Z onward, as Ollie Bean round the final corner and up to P4. That's a big improvement for the Mercedes, and that could be a season high qualifying position for Ollie Bean, as Andrew now rounding the final corner, half a tenth to the good as he comes up to the line. Andrew does improve by a tenth, but doesn't get ahead on position. We've got Ty Clear up by 2/10. D Summers ahead of him. Is Zampa further ahead? Yes, Zampa in the Williams now rounding the final corner. Where can Zampa go? Has multiple poles this season. Up the line, Zampa to P10. D Summers next. Half a second to the good. Needs even more time if he wants to finish even higher, as Ho Chi Minh into the pit lane, so appears to have backed out. Meanwhile, Ty Clear, championship challenger, up to the line, and it's P3 for Ty Clear, just shy of his teammate, but importantly, has a bit of a gap to TJ. What factor will that play? As Andrew now on a lap, but let's see who's actually completing a lap. Dub crossed the line there. Don't know if he's just started a lap, but let's see who else is out there on a flyer. A couple people on out laps, but with Stephen Beecham also on an out lap, but will follow the championship leader here. Currently 700ths to the good is TJ, and needs to improve by over 3/10 if he wants to get ahead of Ty Clear. That is who he's battling with here, really. Needs to make sure that he finishes ahead of Ty if he wants to win the championship here. Stephen needs a bit more of a miracle to happen in order for things to swing his way. As Kevin in the chat says, if TJ and Ty get 11th or worse and Steve wins, Steve could be champion. As Andrew retires in the pit lane. And TJ now on a flyer into the final sector. There's a couple more corners to do. Where can TJ go? TJ did say Abu Dhabi is one of his better circuits, but can we see it here in qualifying as he doesn't want to invalidate like he did in his previous attempt? Now as the checkered flag has fallen, Ho Chi Minh will not improve. TJ, his line a bit obscured, but anyway, does go up to P4, but is behind as Dub Z up to P2. Brilliant lap from McLaren. That might be his best qualifying of the season as Scones now rounding the final corner. Scones up to P6. Big improvement there from Scones as Lanky yet to set a lap now, rounding the final corner. Where can Lanky on the Mercedes? He's been pretty decent in the last couple of rounds, but only P13 for Lanky as Stephen Beecham's backed out of his lap. Ty Clear not going quicker. So none of the championship protagonists will start on the front row. Ho Chi Minh and Dub Z on the front row here as Wasim up to P15. And that is qualifying done for the day. Stephen Beecham P3 in the championship, P3 in qualifying. Ty Clear P2 in the championship, P4 in qualifying. And TJ, our championship leader, down in P5. And it's a bit of a reverse grid here for the championship protagonists. What kind of impact will that play in this battle? Will Ferrari work together because they'd rather that the Ferrari team win than the Alpine? We will see. Or will the Ferraris worry about themselves? A lot could happen here. This is going to be a very, very exciting finale here in Tier 2 WHF. It's gone down to the wire here. And who will be champion? Will it be TJ? Will it be Stephen Beecham? Or will it be Ty Clear? As Crimson in the chat says, let's go Dub. And Dub with an amazing 23-4. Best qualifying of the season as Ho Chi Minh on his second race here in WHF sticks it on pole. Very impressive from Ho Chi Minh there. But look how close it is between the championship protagonists, Stephen, Ty and TJ. But they all don't want to get tangled up with anyone else. They want to just fight between each other. But that's the thing with racing, is it's not just you three on track. There's other drivers to avoid / deal with. There may be drivers out there who will be wanting to throw a spanner in the works, including Ho Chi Minh. Stephen's going to need to get ahead of Dub and Ho Chi Minh if he wants to win this race. Meanwhile, Ty just needs to keep TJ behind. TJ needs to finish ahead of Ty. But dramatic things could happen here. If Ty and TJ somehow take each other out of the race, then all Stephen would need is a P3 or higher, I think. Let me double check that. It would be... yeah, I believe a P3 or higher would do it for Stephen. As let me tell the drivers when they're ready up, so hopefully there's no one ready up early. But I'm afraid they might. As sometimes when you don't put the ping in immediately, someone just immediately clicks A for some reason, but hopefully no one readies up early. Hopefully by the end of the finale here, people know now not to ready up early. You'd love if we can just have a seamless start here and no restarts, because that may throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But I did mention before, thank you Dub for the 300 bits earlier, and also Dub, after donating those 300 bits, he sticks it in P2, a season best qualifying for Dub, and Could Dub even win the race? We'd love to see it. Could Ho Chi Minh win the race? We'd love to see it. Could Stephen win the race? We'd love to see it. 3 drivers who are yet to win this season inside the top 3. Meanwhile, Ty and TJ, the 2 main championship protagonists. That's not to belittle Stephen. He's just 18 points behind TJ, so it's going to be tough for him to pull off not only a win, but a win where it involves Ty and TJ finishing really far down the pack. But it could happen. You never know. At turn 1, they could both take each other out, fighting for the win of the championship. So you never know how this could play out. But we will certainly see. But get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? Will it be Stephen? Will it be Ty? Will it be TJ? Also, who do you think is going to win the race in general? Will it be Ho Chi Minh or Dub Z as well? Season high finishes. Also, I'm going to give a little bit of a hint to the drivers who are in this race. The hard tires are the best. So anyone who listens to the stream while they race, they'll get this advantage. The hard tires are by far and away the best tires. If you could do a hard, that is the strategy you'd do. So, make of that what you will. That doesn't mean 2-stop as in go soft, hard. That means, if you can, maybe the mediums do. But the hards are by far and away the best race tyre here in Abu Dhabi. As Ollie B in the chat says, banging lap from Dub. As Crimson says, Dub, Stephen and Ho Chi is the top 3 he predicts. That would be an intriguing one. I'd hate, honestly, no matter what happens, I don't want to see another Stephen Beach in P2 this race. But the drivers should now be readying up for the finale. And make sure to hold your horses as we can hear the chimes counting down for the round 12 finale here in Tier 2. 3 drivers could win the championship. Which way will it go? As we will have the 5 red lights on here in Abu Dhabi. And they're out as Ho Chi Minh leads us down into turn 1. And everyone seems to have gotten away very cleanly as Dub's already into the lead. Brilliant start from Dub on the inside. Dub straight into the lead as TJ battling with Stephen. Off the start now, and TJ immediately on its contact with Stephen. And Stephen down to P5. Who's got it right? It's Ollie Bean into the wall. Or it might have even been Lanky into the wall there. As TJ up into P3. What a strong start for the championship leader. And Dub with an absolute flying start here. As Crimson battling down and spins at the turn 5 there as Vasim already up in a P9 battling with Gunnar now. Down into turn 6 ahead of them is the Williams and the Mercedes, and Vasim into the rear of the Mercedes. And Vasim, off the track goes Vasim. And the Mercedes there. Vasim going far too late, missing his brakes. As Andrew getting out of Page. Vasim again here on the outside of Ollie, but washes out wide because of that damage. Ellis gets out of Northie now. As Scones gets out of Stephen. What's happened, Stephen? Stephen, does he have damage? No, just seems to be struggling on these hard tyres to fire them up. But he's doing the reverse strategy along with Northie. Meanwhile, everyone else on the mediums can Stephen fire up those hard tyres to stay with the medium runners. We will see. As yellow flag out again. Who's that for? It might be Lanky dropping behind Ayub as Lanky coming into the pit lane along with Vasim. Crimson gets out of Page there. Not quite sure what's happened with Crimson and Page. Off the start here is Northie battling with Ellis. A yellow flag. It's Gunnar. Gunnar around. No front wing for Gunnar. And Gunnar losing out massively as Andrew losing out to Abe and Northie. Beautiful move from Northie there. He just caught the tail end of that. As Abe now in a drag race down to turn 6. But this could be dramatic. Ledge man on the middle. Oh, and Abe just completely leaves the track there to get the move. That's a very illegal overtake. As Andrew going to get back ahead on Abe. As Abe into the side of Andrew. Dramatic scenes here already. Meanwhile, Stephen dropping so far back on these hard tyres. He's really just struggling to get them fired up at all here. As Ty sees his championship rival ahead of him. Scones is 1.5 behind. Stephen is 9/10 behind Scones as well. So Stephen struggling to get inside DRS range of Scones, who's already lost that gap to his championship rivals ahead. And Stephen needs a big comeback now and get inside the DRS of Scones and start to use his tyres to get back inside the range of the cars ahead here. Meanwhile, Dub still holding the lead. Ho Chi Minh is ahead of our championship leader, but can TJ size up a move on Ho Chi Minh out of turn 5? And can TJ get the exit down to turn 6? Meanwhile, Ty falling in behind. Stephen now in the rear of Scones, and Stephen up into P5 now. This is what Stephen needs. Needs to get ahead as Dub battling with Ho Chi Minh, and Ho Chi Minh's got through as TJ trying to get through on Dub as well. And we've missed what's happened there. Dub somehow has lost the position of Ho Chi Minh as TJ now on the inside of Dub Z, and Dub just waves him on through. TJ straight on through on the McLaren, and Dub didn't even fight it too hard as TJ into P2 now, as Dub waving through Ty clear it seems. Dub just letting people go. That's very surprising from Dub. Could be fighting for a win here, but doesn't really want to get involved in the battle as Ho Chi Minh with a 3-second time penalty already here on lap 3. That's going to play a big factor in who wins this race here potentially, as TJ on the rear of Ho Chi Minh, and Stephen now trying to get inside that second of Dub Z ahead. Can Stephen catch here? Meanwhile, Dub, surprising to see him just let through the championship leaders. Maybe he did not want to get involved in their battle, just wants to worry about his own race. And meanwhile, TJ now on the rear of Ho Chi Minh. Yellow flag out, and it's for Crimson. Crimson's fallen down as Abe gets ahead of Ellis, but this is the battle we're watching here. We don't want to leave this battle as TJ on the rear of Ho Chi Minh now battling down to turn 6. Can TJ outbreak Ho Chi Minh in the V-Corp? And TJ now on the inside. A little bit of contact as Ho Chi Minh looking for the switchback on TJ. TJ gone a little deep. Ty Clear has to check up in behind Ho Chi Minh as Ho Chi Minh looks for the exit now with DRS on the rear of the Alpine. And gets on the inside, and Ho Chi Minh back through again on TJ. Meanwhile, Stephen still 2.2 behind. Scones in behind Stephen. Unable to get the move. But Stephen still needs to somehow close to the cars ahead. And with all this pack really tight through the final sector, can Stephen use that to close up here? As Northie picking up a 3-second time penalty, our championship leader. TJ is in the correct position. He just needs to finish ahead of Ty Clear and the championship will be his. But I'm sure he also wants to win the race and also wants to build as big a gap to Ty as quickly as possible. But Ty can see him in his sights as Andrew in off those medium tyres might have some damage. Meanwhile, Dub Z just seemed to really not want to get involved too much in that fight. Stephen Beecham leading along Dub, or leading along Scones and D. Sommers. But can Stephen get back inside DRS range of those cars ahead? We will see. As Ty now trying to catch TJ. TJ catching the rear of Ho Chi Minh, but might try and play it patiently. And Ty now, almost into the rear of TJ as we head through turn 7, exiting. Can the Ferrari plant the throttle? The Alpine ahead. Has he got a better exit than the V-Carb? The V-Carb going to try and go defensive here. But TJ now down into turn 9. Can he outbreak Ho Chi Minh now? And TJ up into P1 as Ho Chi Minh will stay ahead, and Dubsy back ahead of Ty Clear. Ty Clear went deep there and opened the door to the McLaren. And Dub now back up into P3, and now Ty's possibly wondering, oh, this is an awful positioning. There's 2 cars between me and my championship rival here, the Alpine, surely loving life out there. If he can pull a gap to the V-carb of Ho Chi Minh, TJ could be in a great position to go on to win this race. Meanwhile, Tai, he's in already. Tai in off the mediums. That's a really early stop. He's committing to the 2-stop as Stephen loses a position to Scones. But Tai going for the undercut here. He's committing to the 2-stop very early on. And it's something TJ's got to think about. Does he try the 1-stop or does he try the 2-stop? Does he try and match Tai Clear's strategy as around goes Page? The Cybers today just struggling massively as Lanky on the rear of a seam. And where is Tai going to exit? Lovely amounts of clear air, 2.3 behind Ellis and Zampa as Ho Chi Minh all over the rear of TJ and might try and get ahead of him. Out of turn 7 is Steven battling with Scones now. Can he get the exit? But Steven now over 4 seconds behind that lead pack. This could be bad as Dubsy on the inside of Ho Chi Minh. Lovely move from the McLaren to get ahead of the V-carb as Steven does get ahead of Scones, but Scones leading them has lost them around 2 seconds. That's lost them a heap of time as Page is retired in the pit lane. And surprising to see how much time Steven had lost there with Scones leading the pack. But Steven now has got to try and do something to get closer to the leaders now. Ho Chi Minh coming in for his first stop. We'll see where he exits with Tai Clear. Meanwhile, Tai has already caught to the rear of Ledgeman and Zampa. Going to try the outside. And a very risky place to be going for a move there. Is he going to switch to the inside and through the final corner? As we get the most horrible camera angle, Tai gets through on Ledgeman with a lovely move through the final corner. As Tai washing out a bit wide, doesn't want to pick up a warning there. Where does Ho Chi Minh exit though? Ho Chi Minh a bit further down, exits behind Ledgeman. Is he side by side with Ledgeman? He is on the exit, and Ho Chi Minh through on Ledgeman, but may not have DRS, so what factor does that play? Can Ledgeman get past Ho Chi Minh? As Tai Clear now through on Ho Chi Minh, following that undercut, also through on Ledgeman, going to get through on Zampa as well here. Zampa also carrying some damage on the front left end plate is the Williams. As Northey battling with Ayub here as well. As Dubsy and TJ continue to battle. Northey on the outside of Ayub. And Northey up in P7. As Tai pulling a gap now to Zampa. Also, can this help Tai pull a gap to Ho Chi Minh? He's got a car in the way. And that could play a big factor here. Meanwhile, Stevens built a gap to Scones, but still has a big gap to TJ. As Ollie Bean picks up his first 3-second time penalty of the day. But very surprising to see that Stephen just hasn't been catching the leaders at all here on these hard tyres. The hard tyres usually work better. As we're seeing Tai already here battling with Ayub. And Tai all over the rear of Abe on these hard tyres. Abe struggling, it seems, on these worn mediums. And can Tai find a way ahead of the Alpine? Wants to be cautious though, doesn't want any contact there. Oh, and Abe, a big snap of the rear, and Tai's going to get straight through. But Tai luckily avoids an impact as Abe sends it on him. And contact with the Ferrari. Abe contact with the Ferrari, very surprising. Abe with a big send on Tai there. Tai's going to have DRS though. Abe has DRS as well. It's a drag race down to turn 6 as they're wheel banging. And Tai and Abe battle down to turn 6 as Abe almost into the rear of Northey, but places his car beautifully. As Ho Chi Minh now looking for the switchback on Tai. Can Tai get the exit here? As Ho Chi Minh all over the rear of Tai, and they may go either side of the Alpine. Ho Chi Minh on the outside, Tai trying to find a way through on the inside. Unable to, as the Alpine's been completely crashed off the circuit there. And Ayub down and out as Ho Chi Minh just seemed to not let him through there as Dubsy into the box. TJ's around! TJ spun! TJ, the championship leader, spun before the pit lane, and he's rear-ended Scones into the box as that damaged his front wing. unbelievable scenes here. And TJ, he's going to have to fix his front wing. His front wing's gone. I don't believe what I'm saying. As Ty battling with Northey and Ho Chi Minh. Ellis has left the lobby. We're trying to get Ellis back in when we can, but there's too much to watch here. Ty now on the rear of Northey. Northey defending the inside. Ty going to try and pick the outside as Northey trying to help his teammate for the day, which is Ho Chi Minh. But Ty getting round the outside is Dubsy now in the much fresher hards. In P6 now through to P5. Ty or Dubsy in a brilliant position to win this race as Ellis is rejoined now. But where's TJ? TJ down in P11. This is massive implications for the championship as Northey gets back through on Dubsy. And more contact with Dubsy again. Does Dubsy have damage after contact with the rear of Northey? I can't quite tell. Dubsy does have damage. The front left is gone on the McLaren as Ty Clear back down the inside of Ho Chi Minh and into the net race lead goes Ty Clear as Ho Chi Minh leaves the circuit, but Dub now ahead of Northey but has damage. So much carnage here in this first pit stop phase. Our championship leader down to P11. We don't even know what happened to him. Spun at the penultimate corner and then got even more damage, hitting the rear of Scones entering the pit lane. Meanwhile, Zampa on the rear of Northey. Can he find a way through? On the V card. Ho Chi Minh going to try and get back through on Ty now. And there's still a lot could happen in this race as Zampa getting through on Northey down into turn 1. Ho Chi Minh now on the rear of Ty. Can Ty pull a gap? Can Dub get back inside DRS range despite his damage he got after contact with Northey there? Meanwhile, Stephen, if he can go long and do the one stop as we see him lock up there through turn 6. But if Stephen could go long while these drivers battle, if Stephen could go to lap 16 onwards, he may be able to do mediums until the end here and potentially win as TJ gets ahead of Ellis now, and TJ going to try and look to get ahead of Ollie Bean as well. Ollie Bean going to go defensive down into turn 6. TJ though going to try and send it on the inside on the Mercedes and gets through. Lovely move from the championship leader as he has to do another recovery drive here in the Alpine to try and win the championship here as Ollie Bean going to try and get round the outside of the Alpine. And down to turn 9 they go. And Ollie Bean's back ahead of TJ. And TJ does not need this battle. Ollie Bean on the same level of hards as Stephen Beecham comes in though. Stephen committing to the 2-stop. He's gone hard. Off the hards. He might have to go mediums as well. But we'll see what he goes on to. Meanwhile, TJ battling. Ho Chi Minh now will take the net. The race lead as the leaders come into the pit lane now. Scones battling with Northey. Northey's already been involved in the wars today and leaves the track now. And Scones going to try and get through the inside through turn 2. Washes a bit too much under the curb as Northey lets him on through. Meanwhile, Ty trying to stay with Ho Chi Minh. And as long as Ty stays inside DRS range of Ho Chi Minh and just keeps this gap, it could be beautiful for his result as Ledgeman into the wall at turn 2 and damage for the Haas driver. But this has been a very, very thrilling race so far. TJ now on the rear of Ollie Bean. We'll have to see what the stewards say about some of these incidents. What I can say is the championship leaders or the championship rivals have not come together, but other cars are playing a big factor in this race. Ty just realistically needs to keep it clean to the end, but look at Stephen. Stevens only 5 seconds off Ty on these fresher tyres as Scones round the outside of Zampa. Lovely move from Scones there as Zampa trying to do the one stop here. He's trying to manage those mediums as long as he can go before he potentially fixes that front wing and comes in off the hards. But Stephen now is closing to the lead. Can Stephen get in the battle for the lead here? And there's so much could still happen in this race. But Stephen on the hards seems to be flying. Stephen has went hard as Northey comes into the pit lane. TJ now has been released and can see Zampa down the road. Can he get inside DRS range from Zampa, who does have damage and older tyres ahead? And then once TJ gets ahead of him, it's Scones and then Stephen. So Ty Clear also barely holding on to DRS range from Ho Chi Minh. Does he have it as Ho Chi Minh leaves the circuit there and deservedly gets a 3-second time penalty? That was a bit insane what we've seen from Ho Chi Minh there. Just completely drove off the circuit. And Tai now back inside DRS range of Ho Chi Minh, as Ho Chi Minh trying to win his what would be his first win of the season, as TJ gets out of Zampa. Oh, as Ollie Bean almost into the rear of Zampa. Ollie Bean playing it cautious though, wants to get the exit near. Meanwhile, Tai Clear almost on the rear of Ho Chi Minh, down into turn 9. Ollie Bean gonna try and get through on Zampa if he can. That's TJ trying to head after Scones now. And still so much that can happen in this race. It could go anyway. Tai Clear in the driver's seat at the moment. If things were to end as is, Tai would be champion. Meanwhile, Stephen is doing the hard and Dubsy almost back inside DRS range. But more importantly, Stephen is in DRS range from Dubsy and could offer himself a lovely slingshot onto the rear of Tai. Stephen sets the fastest lap as Dubsy just lets through Stephen, who's going much faster now as Tai. Now, has he lost DRS to Ho Chi Minh? Ho Chi Minh, though, with time penalties here, which may play a factor. But Stephen, he can see his teammate down the road. A reminder, Stephen needs a lot to go his way to win the championship here. He needs basically a win and hope Tai and TJ have an absolute nightmare race, which currently they're not having. TJ is having his own nightmare because he needs to finish ahead of Tai to win this race, or win the championship. Meanwhile, Stephen not only needs to win, but he needs Tai and TJ to finish outside the top 10. Has Tai got DRS just about? Does Stephen have DRS? Doesn't. As Dub again playing the spectator role in this race. Doesn't even really want to push for the win. He's just watching the championship battle unfold. Meanwhile, Stephen almost inside DRS range from Tai and Ho Chi Minh as D Summers gets out of Ollie Bean. We're missing a whole lot of the action. Zampa contact with Gunner there. Abe also involved, more contact, and Gunner around at turn 7 as Abe battles with Gunner there. Meanwhile, Tai still on the rear of Ho Chi Minh, and Stephen now has the range. He's inside DRS range from his teammate. And is he going quickly? Stephen committed early to the 2-stop and is probably on the best tyres out there, best strategy out there, because he can go longer than the rest of the drivers before switching to the mediums. Or but do Tai and Ho Chi Minh have another set of hards? We will see. As Stephen now on the rear of Tai. Does Tai have DRS from Ho Chi Minh? He just about does. Tai desperately holding on to DRS range. Meanwhile, Stephen into P3. Can he find a way ahead of Tai? As Tai desperately trying to stay with Ho Chi Minh here. Can Stephen use the DRS to his advantage as Dubsy almost dropping back a bit? As TJ now on the rear of Scones as well. Can Stephen close up the Tai? Not close enough just yet as Dubsy continues to fall back. They have lost DRS. TJ trying to catch Scones, but not close enough. Meanwhile, Stephen on the rear of Tai. As Abe and Zampa swap positions. Abe gets ahead, goes a little deep though through turn 6. That might give Zampa a better exit out of turn 7. Plants the throttle though. Can he get the DRS? Meanwhile, Tai all over the rear of Ho Chi Minh. Stephen involved here as well. It's so close in the battle for the lead. Who can win here? As Zampa does get ahead of Abe. Side by side they go at turn 9. Still side by side. Zampa still carrying that damage as Abe gets back ahead there. As Tai on the rear. Crimson with a 3-second time penalty. Can Tai get ahead of Ho Chi Minh? Stephen also wants ahead. Tai's gone deep though. It's opened the door to Stephen and Stephen's gone straight through it. Stephen now up into P2. Can he get a better exit than Tai? Stephen straight on through into P2. Meanwhile, Dub trying to get back through on Tai. Can Stephen get into the lead of the race? Stephen on the outside of Ho Chi Minh. And Stephen up into P1, but Ho Chi Minh's still there on the inside. Can he get a better exit though? Ho Chi Minh going to try and nail the exit out of turn 7. Going to plant the throttle on the ERS, but does Stephen have better tyres and better traction to pull this gap as Ollie Bean gets out of D Summers? As down to turn 9 we go. Ho Chi Minh back on the inside of Stephen. Stephen round the outside though. Keeps it in the lead, and Stephen now on the best tyres out there. leads this race as Ho Chi Minh leaves the track again and potentially picking up another warning. And TJ up in a P9. TJ's going to need to get ahead of Scones. Or TJ up in a P5 at turn 9. He's now got 7 seconds to catch to the leaders here. As Zampa back through again on Ayub. But can Stephen pull a gap to Ho Chi Minh now and drop him out of DRS range? This could be big for Stephen's race. Does Ho Chi Minh have the pace through Sector 1 to stay with him? As Stephen heads through turn 1, does Ho Chi Minh stay with him? He is just about inside DRS range. Does he still have it? Ty trying to hold on to Ho Chi Minh's rear as well to keep DRS range. But does Ho Chi Minh have it? I'm not sure. He's right on the cusp. I think he may have missed the detection point. I think Ty still has it. Meanwhile, TJ 6 seconds back from this battle. Still so much can happen. As Ho Chi Minh almost spins out of turn 5. And he doesn't have DRS, which may allow Ty back up to the rear of Ho Chi Minh, and it may allow Stephen to check off down the road, which is exactly what Stephen needs in this race. But Stephen still also needs a lot to go his way if he does want to win the championship. Meanwhile, Ty back on the rear of Ho Chi Minh, and Ty, as it stands, would still be champion. All he needs to do is outscore TJ and finish inside the top 10, and he will be champion. Meanwhile, Stephen needs to win this race and hope as Crimson around again at the Latifi corner. Crimson did so well in qualifying, unfortunately to see him struggling in the race, but just getting to his new wheel, which unfortunately is a learning curve. Meanwhile, Stephen now 2 seconds up the road, and Stephen's strategy has worked so well here. He has been absolutely flying, but can TJ catch here? He's still 6.3 behind this train that involves TJ, or involves Ty Clear, and Ty just needs to finish ahead of TJ. Does TJ want to undercut? He may have to head onto his hard tyres earlier, unless maybe only his mediums. The clue as Ellis picks up a 3-second time penalty. For those of you listening to the race, what you want to do at Abu Dhabi is select the harder tyre allocation, which Stephen Beecham has, and you're seeing the success it reaps. He went hard, and then mediums as Ho Chi Minh almost into the wall again, and now is going to let through Ty Clear into P2, and Ho Chi Minh losing the rear out of turn 5, really struggling under traction. Meanwhile, Dub now going to try and get through, and Ho Chi Minh as he taps the rear of the V-Carb, still struggling on traction. Can't get any traction at all, it seems, the V-Carb. Dub and the McLaren now right all over the rear of the V-Carb, going to pick the outside of turn 9. Contact between Ho Chi Minh and Dub gets through round the outside. Beautiful move from Dub up into P3, and Dub having a fantastic race of his own today. He honestly could be battling for the win if he hadn't been playing the game where he was just letting the championship leaders go. But you gotta think, TJ, if he's missed the trick here in picking the harder tyre allocation, he might have to extend these mediums to go on to another set of mediums. Although, he started on the mediums, so he should be going on the hards. And Ty in early off those hard tyres. Is he going to go mediums or hards now? Meanwhile, TJ went medium before he goes hards again. And TJ possibly missing a trick here by going onto the hards earlier. Ty Clear will undercut him. And Ty is also gone medium hard. So Ty in a great position here, pulling another undercut, and he's going hards to the end. Those hards will comfortably get to the end, but which is the quicker strategy? We will see. Stephen doing a hard medium, and currently is the leader of the race. He's having a strong lead out there, 4 seconds out of Dubsy. Meanwhile, TJ has got to come onto the hards this lap, you would think, as Scones now almost into the rear of the championship leader, and Scones going very deep and almost hitting the rear of the Alpine, the championship leader, 2 races in a row. So much drama in this race. Dub keeping ahead of Ho Chi Minh. Stephen, if I'm him, I'm staying out a couple more laps before swapping into the mediums, as the mediums aren't the strongest tyre around here. Meanwhile, Ty may pull the undercut in his teammate, but TJ certainly, you gotta think the championship leader's gotta come in here, but he's got to do something to close up the tie. He's got to do something to close the tie, and what he's doing currently isn't getting that much time to tie. As Dub and Ho Chi Minh come in, and now TJ pulls the pin and is going to come into the pit lane. And now onto the hard tyres for TJ, which I believe is the only tyres he does have available left. And TJ now is going to be flying to the end on the hard tyres. Can TJ catch Ty Clear by the end of this? That is what TJ needs to do. He needs to beat Ty Clear on track. Meanwhile, Stephen needs to win, and not only needs to win, but he needs Ty and TJ to have absolute nightmares here. But as it stands, it looks like it's going Ty's way. He just needs to keep it clean to the end, and Ty could be champion here in WHF Tier 2. Before this season, hadn't any race wins. He had been one of the most unlucky drivers in WHF's history. And now, finally, Ty could be able to call himself a champion here with 10 laps to go in this race. Can Ty win this one as he exits the box ahead of Dubsy and Ho Chi Minh, who are on the medium tyres to the end, which will be struggling at the end, but they may have some pace. For the meantime, can they get back up into the DRS range of Ty now? As Dub doesn't seem to be closing to Ty as much as Zampa battles with Abe through turn 7. Zampa trying to outdrag the Alpine here. As we don't get the best of camera angles as there's contact between the Williams and the Alpine. And Abe going to get through on Zampa here. And Zampa losing out there. Meanwhile, Andrew on the outside of Northey. Andrew through up into P11. As Ho Chi Minh now. Still with Dubsy now, but Dubsy on these mediums, as I mentioned, the mediums are not a great tyre around here, and Dub, although I forgot to mention, Dub is carrying that front left end plate damage, so that is playing a factor for sure. Ho Chi Minh possibly wants to get ahead of Dub so that we can actually see the pace that the mediums potentially have. But I did mention earlier, the hard tyres are the best tyre here, as we're seeing from Stephen Beecham. He has been so strong in this second stint, and he may go in on lap 21-22 before he swaps to the mediums until the end. And we'll see where Stephen exits. But as it stands, can Stephen finally get the win that has been eluding him all season? You would certainly love to see it as Lanky comes in for his final pit stop. Meanwhile, E. Summers up into P3, Scones into P2. They could still be in for a decent result here. But Ho Chi Minh back on the rear of Dub and unable to close the Dub despite Dub's damage. As Stephen now here on lap 20 comes in for the mediums. Has he gone too early? We will see by the end if his tyres fall off. I think he's gone in a good enough time. I think his mediums should last to the end, but Scones comes in. D. Summers is going to stay out. Ollie Bean in. So Ty Clear has clear track to try and catch Stephen Beecham, but where does Stephen exit? As Ho Chi Minh sets the fastest lap of the race. Who will take the lead? Ty will take the lead of the race. Where does Stephen exit though? As we follow the Ferrari, he comes round turn 2 and he's right behind his Ferrari teammate. The two Ferraris who secured the Constructors' Championship last time out in Brazil. Stephen now exits the box behind his championship rival. And Stephen now with DRS, can he find a way ahead of Ty Clear? Now Stephen with DRS gets straight ahead of Ty as Ty tries to pull back in. Ho Chi Minh through on Dub Z. What can those mediums do in the clear air now? Meanwhile, Ty back on the rear of Stephen. All he needs to do is hold on to DRS range of his championship rival to the end, and Ty will be champion. Meanwhile, TJ needs a monster drive from here on out. He needs to catch Ty with everything he has to try and win this championship. Meanwhile, Ty just needs to keep mistakes to the minimum, and Ty should be champion here. Stephen needs the win and needs an absolute miracle on top of that. But Stephen looking very strong out there, almost inside DRS range now from D. Summers, who is yet to do his final pit stop. Unless D. Summers is trying to one-stop, which I'm not quite sure if he is, but we'll see as time progresses. D. Summers 10 laps on these hards already, and Stephen gonna look to get straight past the Williams, and this Williams may play a bit of a buffer to Stephen and allow him to build a big gap to TJ. Or to Ty Clear in behind. Ty has got to be on top of this. He's got to get through the Williams as quickly as possible. He cannot allow Stephen to build any kind of gap. Meanwhile, TJ 3.7 behind Dubsy and Ho Chi Minh now. Stephen on the rear now of D Summers with DRS. Can he get ahead? Tie clear. Trying to catch D Summers as well. Is he going to go for the sand down into turn 6? No, he's going to back out and play it cautious. Wants the exit through turn 7 as D Summers goes a little deep through turn 6. Can Ty now get the exit out of turn 7 with DRS? Can he get ahead of the Williams? The Williams doesn't prove too much of a fight, but has it allowed Stephen to have a big of a gap as D Summers still on the outside. Ty down the inside, gets through up into P2. But does Ty have enough pace on these hard tyres to stick with Stephen Beecham as Dubsy picks up a 3-second time penalty? That may play an important part in the battle between Ho Chi Minh and Dubsy. Ho Chi Minh does have more penalties, but Dub wants this podium, I'm sure. As Ty now barely holding on to Stephen now. Can Stephen pull a gap now in the Ferrari? D Summers out of DRS, Ty out of DRS. Does he have the pace through turn 1 to stay with Stephen, or will Stephen pull a gap to his teammate? It's so close, we're right on the border of DRS range. Can he get it activated? As Stephen, I think he's done enough. I think Stephen's got the gap now to pull the Ty clear. As Ty giving it everything, but did Ty get a bit of activation from the Haas? We will see. Ty did not. Ty's still going to have to use some pace to get back inside DRS range now, which I think he has done, exiting turn 7. But does he have the tyres to hold on to Stephen now? Meanwhile, Ho Chi Minh all over the rear of D Summers. This may play a factor in the battle between Ho Chi Minh and Dubsy for the podium, as Ho Chi Minh now trying to get ahead of D Summers, as D Summers still lovely straight line speed, gets DRS off that lapped car ahead as well, as Ho Chi Minh still trying to find a way through but can't. Ty Clear still holding on to the rear of Stephen Beecham. If Ty can hold on for a couple more laps, his hards will play him back into the race and could still win it here. Meanwhile, TJ still trying to catch the medium runners ahead. D Summers slowing them up could help him here, but TJ surely got a push now. Does he have the pace to catch the cars ahead? Meanwhile, Ty desperately trying to head after, as D Summers does come in. A very late pit stop for D Summers. Possibly won't get the advantage out of the medium or soft tyres that he may go on to. Which, yellow flag. Who's that for? It was Vassim, and that was very shocking, because it seemed like it played a factor in the Ferrari's battle, and it maybe has, because Ty has lost DRS now again, as the yellow flag is out. Is it Dubsy? No, it's Crimson again. So many lap cars getting involved here now, and Stephen has the gap that he needs to Ty, but can Ty get back inside DRS range? Ty's battle is really between TJ is, oh my god, Vassim, and it's a safety car. Safety car here on lap 24, and Vassim has caused it. This safety car may play a vital factor in this race, as Ty now, will he come into the box? Will Stephen come into the box? Stephen gonna stay out. What does Ty do? Ty's gonna come in. This is intense. What is TJ gonna do? Ho Chi Minh comes in. Dubsy comes in. TJ's gonna come in as well. This is insane, and Stephen stays out on the mediums. Oh my lord, this is insane. I cannot believe it. I'm saying Ty onto the softs. TJ, what tyres does he pick? Softs as well for TJ. Scones up into P2 now on these mediums. Can Stephen leave Scones in the dust? Oh my god, Stephen, don't do it. Oh my god, he almost overtook the safety car and got disqualified. That would have been, oh, that would have been so much heartache for Stephen. Meanwhile, this late safety car, as Abe somehow picks up a 3-second time penalty entering the pit lane, although that is a glitched pit lane, so unfortunately, and Gunner's got the same fate, glitched pit lane as well. Stephen going to stay out on these mediums. He's got to manage these mediums. The mediums are much better than the softs. The softs are not a great tyre around here at all. But Ty again has to finish ahead of TJ. But TJ has been given a lifeline on these soft tyres. Can he find a way ahead of TJ? We will see. But very, very interesting. As Sniff God in the chat says, how's Gunner doing down in P13? Unfortunately, another struggle of a race for Gunner, but back on the soft tyres now. A lot could happen that could shift his way towards the end here, as Ellis has been disqualified entering the pit lane because he's overtaken the safety car again. Well, not quite sure why he did that, but oh well. Anywho, this is going to be an insane ending to the race. Stephen needs a win here. He needs Ty, Claire and TJ to be involved in major drama on the final laps here. Meanwhile, TJ needs to finish ahead of Ty. Ty needs to finish ahead of TJ. So much could happen here on the final laps. As Dub and Ollie randomly swapping places. Andrew now exiting the box on fresh softs. Northie staying out on these mediums, surprising enough to see, but the mediums are a decent tyre around here. It's not too bad staying out in them, so Stephen still may be in a good way. But will Ty have enough grip? It'll be a 3-lap sprint until the end, potentially here. Will Ty have the pace to get ahead of the cars ahead, as Lanky's got a drive through after speeding onto the pit lane? To be fair, Kevin, TJ was on a bit of older hard, so maybe, but at the same time though, TJ's just got to finish at a Ty, so he's got to try and get through 3 cars ahead of him, then onto the rear of Ty, which might be a tough ask to do in 3 laps, but you never know, Ty could be caught up in some drama that could hand the lead to TJ. But we will see. The safety car yet to be called in, could be called in this lap, we will see. Or it could be a 2-lap sprint race. The 2-lap sprint race would certainly benefit Stephen. And yet to be called in yet. Is it going to be a late call in? I hope not. It isn't. It's going to stay out another lap. This helps Stephen massively. This helps Stephen massively. This hurts TJ massively, because it gives him less laps to try and catch the car's head. Although, at the same time, it could make Ty Clear more desperate. Although, Ty, if you're listening, you don't need to be desperate. You have the championship lead as is. As Scones into the rear of Stephen. What's he doing? What was that? Scones forgot to brake into turn 1 and almost into the rear of one of the championship protagonists. That would have been crazy to see Scones accidentally take out one of the championship leaders there under the safety car. The safety car coming out in the first place was crazy enough. But anyway, there you have it. But get your predictions in the chat, or in the chat. 2 laps to go in this race. It's a 2-lap sprint to the end. It's almost like Abu Dhabi 2021 again, although this time it's with 3 championship protagonists. Stephen Beecham, Ty Clear and TJ. 3 drivers could win it. As it stands now, Ty would win the championship down in P3, as the safety car will be called in this lap. Stephen needs a good run here. He needs to win this race and hope, with beyond all hopes, that Ty and TJ get caught up in drama, which we're going to have to somehow keep an eye on everything. It's going to be a lot of chaos here on this safety car restart. But 2 laps to the end. Can Stephen do it? We will certainly see. Can Ty win the championship? Will it be TJ? TJ needs to somehow get ahead. He's got a 3-second time penalty under the safety car. What's he done? What has TJ done to himself? Oh, that is a nightmare for TJ. Why? Stephen's gone now, but TJ might have ended the fight himself before it even begun. We start lap 28, the penultimate lap, or the penultimate lap of the race, as Ty Clear back on the rear of Scones. Stephen looking for his first win in his WHF career, as Ty all over the rear of Scones. TJ needs to somehow dissect the cars ahead as quickly as possible. Ty on the rear of Scones. Can he find a way ahead down into turn 5? Unable to, as Dubsy battles with Ollie Bean. Ty Clear though somehow got through on the outside of Scones. TJ battling with Ollie Bean. TJ on the outside now, up into turn, out of turn 5, up into P6, gets out of Ollie Bean. Ty Clear now, up into P2. Can Stephen pull a big enough gap? We will see, as TJ battling with Ollie Bean. It's Scones now. What's happened, Scones? He's gone a bit deep and allowed through a couple cars. Can TJ get involved here? As Scones and Dubsy battle down to turn 9. Can TJ take advantage of these two battling as Dub down the inside of Scones? TJ trying to find a way through on the Aston Martin and the McLaren, as they still are side by side here. And TJ needs to somehow navigate a way through if he can. Meanwhile, we're about to start the final lap here, and Ty Clear could potentially win this race, not only just the championship. Ty just needs to finish ahead of TJ. Meanwhile, TJ needs to finish ahead of Ty. Ho Chi Minh though could play a bit of drama here at the final race. Ho Chi Minh just wants the best result for himself. He's not in this championship fight as TJ down the inside of Scones at turn 1 pushes him off the track as the Aston Martin leaves the track there. And TJ up into P5. We'll have to see what the stewards say about that move. Meanwhile, Ty Clear trying to get back on the rear of Stephen Beecham now here on the final lap. Stephen needs a win and also needs somehow some miracle to happen. Could Ho Chi Minh be that miracle? Could Ho Chi Minh put some drama in this pot? Will he stir the pot down into turn 6 and 7 as he sends it on the inside of Ty Clear? Ty doesn't need to fight this too hard. He just needs to stay behind his own contact with Ho Chi Minh. Ty just about survives. Ty does not need to win this race. Who does need to win this race is Stephen Beecham. Ho Chi Minh though catching Stephen with a rapid rate of knots. Can Ho Chi Minh get through on Stephen? Stephen may have just done enough to keep him at bay here on the final lap. Ho Chi Minh gonna try and catch with all he can, but it might not be enough here as the yellow flags are out. And who's that for? TJ's gonna round. TJ in P13, the championship leader, is down and out. But who's not down and out is Stephen Beecham leading us across the line. And Stephen now rounding the final corner. And for the first time in WHF, Stephen wins for Ferrari. But Ty Clear will win the championship here in Tier 2 as Ty Clear crosses the line in P2 ahead of TJ. And Ty is your Tier 2 champion. With TJ finishing down in P13, it could end up as a Ferrari 1-2 to end the championship. Stephen finally wins a race here and gets the monkey off his back. Finally wins a race in WHF. There's been so many instances this season that Stephen should have won before now. But unfortunately, Stephen could only win the final round. Unfortunately, was not enough for Stephen's championship. But Ty is champion here in Tier 2. TJ with a nightmare race, a nightmare final lap, finishes down in P13. An absolute heartbreak for the Alpine. Absolute heartbreak. Can't believe what we've seen. But what an ending to the Tier 2 calendar. Stephen finally gets a win here in WHF Tier 2. A lovely way to end the season for Ferrari. Meanwhile, Ty Clear will be champion. As Jamie in the chat says, does the 3-second pit lane glitch get removed? Yes, if you can send in a report with your race director and the clip as well. But what a win for Stephen. Finally gets a win. Rio, I can't even describe how much of an absolute cinema finale that was. Stephen finally gets his first win here in WHF Tier 2. Driver of the day goes to Gunner, but it will be Ty Clare, who finished P2 today, will be champion here in Tier 2 as TJ on the final lap. Big contact, not even quite sure who with, but falls down the order and heartbreak for TJ. Led the championship into the final round, was a point ahead of Ty Clare, had to finish ahead of him, but had a spin at his first pit stop that would cost him a lot here. And under that final safety car as well, had another pit stop as well. As Ray O'Hara says, Scones is on the podium, and I honestly didn't even notice. So much happened that I forgot Scones is on the podium. That honestly, too much was happening there. Didn't even realize. But hopefully we can get all the drivers in for driver interviews. Unfortunately, for those of you wanting to hear from Ty Clare, unfortunately Ty Clare has to give his girlfriend a lift from work after the race, so Ty can't even celebrate with us, unfortunately, his championship victory. But I think the first driver we'll start the interviews with will be Scones. Scones, I will be 100% honest, there was so much carnage at the end there, I didn't even realise you got a podium until someone in the chat said it. How'd that race go for you, Scones?
Well, I don't know if the podium's going to stick because I think some of those track limits pens might have been from the curb in the pit lane. I don't know if that's appealable or not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's actually going to be a P3 or if I'm going to fall down to like P4, P5.
Mm-hmm. But still, tell us about your race.
Yeah, the tires wore a little bit more than I anticipated. So in hindsight, I definitely should have gone for the harder compound selection. Something I usually forget. I tried giving a few drivers a run for their money, but alas, too quick. I had a good stint behind TJ for a bit, but a small error on my part. He managed to get away. On the restart, it was feeling good up until the chicane where I outbraked myself, ended up going wide. And then I watched the podium slip away, unfortunately. But yeah, even if I end up P5, I'm happy with the result. It's been a good season.
Yeah. Good result, Scones, and hopefully for your case that it is a podium, but we will see what the stewards say after the race. The next driver we're going to move on to was TJ. Absolute commiserations, TJ. It just seemed like a nightmare race for you. So unlucky to not win the championship here today. We must ask you firstly, what happened before your first pit stop entering the pit lane?
I was gonna come in the lap after that, but on the last one of the last corners, I hit the curb too much and I spun round. I thought I was out, to be fair, but it ruined my front wing. And yeah, I had to pit, and I was about 8 seconds behind everyone else. I was catching, and then the safety car came out. I was like, it's a bit late for the safety car. And then yeah, the softs just felt horrible for me, to be honest. And then I had another spin.
Did you have any thought of staying out on the hard tires for that final safety car restart?
I did think of it, but it just, I don't know. It didn't really make sense to me. I should have, to be fair. It would have made more sense. But yeah, I decided to pit just to see whatever, because I was already down there anyway, so might as well.
But hard luck. Also, what happened at that final spin as well?
Nothing much. That was just me, to be honest. I think my tires were overheating, and yeah, as I said, I just didn't like the softs. They were horrible. But if there's next season and I'm there, then I'm gonna give it everything to get the championship.
Yeah, well, TJ, thank you for all the racing you've done this season. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch and commentate on. And unfortunately, did not win the championship this time out, but still a great season from yourself.
Like the championship, bro. It's I have the pleasure to play with you the whole season with the Alpine. Don't worry about the loss.
And we're also going to move on now to Stephen Beecham. Stephen, finally got the monkey off your back to get that final win here in Abu Dhabi. There's been so many times this season you could have won it, just for whatever reason it just would not go your way. But finally here in the finale you get that win. How does that feel? Unfortunately you do miss out on the championship, but still I'm sure you'll be happy with that result.
I'm happy. I wish you could see the look on my face. The race, first of all, congrats to Ty Clear for winning the championship and our team winning the constructors. This has been a great season. I'm happy with the result. I've been wanting a P1 and finally got there. To be honest with you, when that safety car came out, I was not sure what was going to happen. And I stayed out on mediums with high tire wear, but that's the only thing I could do. I felt like I could do, but all in all, great race, great season. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to watch, and I'm so glad you did finally get that victory, because I was like, if Stephen somehow goes this whole season without winning, I would be beyond shocked. But as you mentioned...
You know, at the beginning of the race, I saw that everyone was on mediums, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, it really just depends on how the race goes, but everyone was on mediums, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to start on the hards and see what happens. I actually thought about a one stop, but I don't think it would have worked. But you know, what happened, and all good.
Yeah, we did see in that first stint, I was telling everyone that the hards are the tire to go for, and you and Northey were the only drivers who started in the hards, but we did see you struggle in that first stint. Did you think you made the wrong choice early on?
Early on, I did. I think I lost like 2, 3, or 4 positions after the first and second lap. The hards just take so much longer to get good to go against the mediums, but I think I made up quite a bit of time, especially once I got some clean air. So the hards were good to go, but yes, I did struggle in the beginning. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, certainly in that second stint, we seen you with a very strong comeback drive, and it seemed like you had the one in the bag, and then another late safety car where it seemed like, oh no, it's happening again. But thankfully this time you actually get that victory that had been eluding you all this time. So lovely to see you finally get that win, Stephen.
Thank you.
But now I think it's a great time we can show the viewers the championship standings. Ty wins the championship on 221 points, finishes ahead of Stephen on 207. Next, it's TJ in 204 points. As also, we'll mention some of the battles here. D. Somers jumps Lanky in the title fight for P6. D. Somers finishes on 126 points, a point ahead of Lanky on 125, followed by Scones on 119. We also see Andrew getting ahead of Fakiri into P11. Ollie Bean jumps up to P13, and Ollie Bean also ensures that he wins the LTJ championship, so he gets free teas for the week from all the LTJ family. As Abe also jumps up to P14 in that one race, gets 10 points, which jumps him up ahead of Gunner, as Ledgeman falls 3 positions, unfortunately for him. But great season from everyone, and very happy how everyone did. But we'll move on to whoever's next in the interviews. We'll start with D. Somers. D. Somers, we did mention there that you had a strong race, and also you finish ahead of Lanky in the championship. How does that one feel?
I was panicking for the majority of the race, wondering where Lanky was. I know on the first lap I got a warning for a collision.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That put me in the wall.
Thing is, I didn't know where I had made contact with you, because the only Mercedes I had seen to that point was Ollie Bean going slow on the...
You swerved from him straight into the side of my side pod and put me in the wall. That's what happened there.
Sorry about that. I did not know that someone was up on the inside. I had Scones in front on the inside, and I had Ollie on the outside. But
yeah, it's that one first corner stuff, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I mean,
but that's how it went.
Yeah, after that, I just had a crazy battle on my second stint with Ollie Bean, just trying to eke out the ERS, trying to get away from him. And it took me something like 6 laps to finally break the DRS.
Yeah,
But,
my tyres really started wearing. No, it was a great battle. Honestly, was.
And by the time I got to lap, what was it, 19 or 20, my rear right was on something stupid like nearly 70%. And I had to come in for the mediums. I come out of the pits and safety car. So I was a little bit miffed about that, but I'm glad that I was able to finish the race where I did. Same with what Scones was saying. If the penalties were due to going into the pit lane, then it might not be a P4. But I'm happy that I got the points that I did.
Well, congrats on a great race,
Yeah.
T Summers, and I'll be
And
100%
sorry, I was
honest.
just going to say GG's on the extra point to him. Why before he gets silenced? Like, you know, it wasn't your fault as such at the start. Like, you know, it was just that's what happened. So, like, I got no hard feelings on the contact. It was just I think you were reacting to Ollie, which then I was on your inside, and it was just a Constantina sort of effect, you know, passenger sort of thing. But no, you managed to get that like what you needed. So. Yeah, I say, I want to say GG's to you for that because it came down to the wire.
Yeah, good fight
between us for that position. Yeah, and then I knew I had no chance of gaining 5th, so my battle was with you.
But thank you for that, D Summers. Also wanted to mention. I didn't even realize you finished P4 because there was that much happening on the final lap. So there's so much I just didn't see. So I think I'm going to have to watch a couple of drivers' POVs back just to even tell what was happening there. Because we were too busy focused on what the Ferraris were doing and what TJ was doing on that final lap to see how the championship would end. But I think now we'll move on to Gunnar. Gunnar, how'd that race go for you?
The same as always spinning. From the first lap, I actually made up like 9 positions and I was gassed. But the next lap, I spin out back to like the back, and then I had a nice little recovery drive. But it's never gonna work out with like the quality of the people here. So the safety car came out, and I was able to like recover a few more positions. I think without the penalty, I get P9. So maybe I don't know what that's doing on the championship.
You
hopefully
can appeal that, and if you do, you would get ahead of Abe if you get any more positions because you're equal with Abe on points as it stands.
Oh, great! That's perfect then. But yeah, it wasn't the best drive, but if I'm here next season, definitely something I will improve on.
But it has been an unlucky season for yourself, Gunnar, but hopefully next season we can see just you involved in less chaos because this has been a very chaotic season. Every time I've seen you, it's just been absolutely you in the wars with somebody. So hopefully next season we'll see less of that. But we'll move on to Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh on your second race here in WHF. Pole position, what a lap. I don't even know where you finished in the end because there was so much carnage on that final lap. But how'd that race go for you?
Yeah, P6 in the end, like penalties killed me. The pole lap was great, not the greatest, but I tried to do like great lap then stay and let some soft for the race because I think like we are going to have a safety car surely. Then in the race like nothing goes like I like I changed setup like in Brazil, so I feel like the car better like then the car wasn't like tire pressure was very bad and the tire as well was very bad. I tried in the end like to take the win in the truck, but the Ferrari was very good.
Yeah, you did try all you could on that final lap, but unfortunately Stephen did finish ahead. But still,
I'll try.
Yeah, still, it's only been your second race here in WHF. That is a fantastic drive on your second race. So you can take that in the next season, and we might see you up at the top end of Tier 2. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we'll move on to Lanky. Lanky, we did hear you talk a little bit earlier with your battle with D Summers, which you may be able
it
to.
was just an incident. Yeah, like
you may be able to move back up the championship. We'll never know if D Summers gets a penalty. Well, you may reclaim P6, but we'll see. But Lanky, how'd that race go for you?
Other than that, yeah, not great. After that, on my catch up,
Also,
had some
Lanky,
questionable.
you're echoing, so can you mute what's on the background?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can. I got you blasting. I'm like, muted that. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, on the catch up after the lap one incident, I had some questionable moves from Wasim. So yeah, everything that could have gone against me in some sort of way went against me, and then the safety car I thought was a bit of respite, and then I didn't have a delta for most of the lap, but then it gave me one as I crossed the finish line, and then I couldn't get back. It was like 3 seconds that the delta jumped to, so I couldn't get back under it, and it gave me a drive through for the end just to rub salt in the wound. So it wasn't my best one, but other than that, season wise, I've had a pretty fun season, and you know, the battles have been good at the for between us lot in the top 10 really of the championship.
Yeah, it has been fun to watch. I believe which race was it? That I think was it last race you qualified P2?
Yeah. Brazil.
Towards the start of the season, I remember watching you in qualifying. I was thinking, this is not the Lanky that I know and love. But towards the end of the season, we've really seen you start to shine, and you've really been scoring some big points towards the end of the season as well. So it's been great to watch you.
Yeah, cheers. I struggled with the game at first, but it's coming back. So hopefully, next season or something, I can do a bit more.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lanky. We'll move on now to Ollie Bean. Ollie Bean, you are the winner of the LTA Championship, and you will be inundated with cups of tea all week. How does that one feel?
Oh no, it feels good. It feels good. But Ellis likes to handicap himself at every single moment when he learns something new. So he's just turned off racing line. So I was kind of expecting to outscore him there, but yeah, it was a decent quali. I had a good quali, and then turn one I had to avoid scones because I tried to push it around the outside and then realised it wasn't going to work. So I had to take off the track. Illegal overtake, so I had to slow down, and in turn 3 people just dashed past me. Wasn't the greatest start, but I had some really good battling with D Summers, like going wheel to wheel through the chicane and things like that. That was really fun. But I managed to actually get a really good undercut on D Summers, so I got the position back, and then safety car. So it ruined everything I was doing. But it's been a fun season. My first season on wheel, and I think I've done all right considering. So I'm just looking to improve and maybe get a podium next season.
Yeah, well, hopefully, and we'll look forward to seeing it. Also, I've only realised now that you and Ledgeman were actually equal on points going into that round, so I don't know what.
Oh, really?
I don't know why Ledgeman has decided let me go no line and throw this away, but anyway, we'll move on to Ledgeman. Ledgeman, why did you decide last race of the season is the race I'm going to go no line?
Because I've always been a loyal man, but I wanted to expand to other leagues, and I regret it because they made me turn off line in this other league. So I thought, oh yeah, I've already done one race on it, so I may as well just stick it. I've been meaning to do it, and I kind of wish I didn't. But that wasn't even the reason I went so badly. I've always been a lot weaker on this track anyway, so my pace has never really been up to par. But then I was sort of doing okay, and then I came up, well, as I got disconnected, so I missed my pit window, came back, and then spun it because my tyres were a little bit too worn. So then I boxed, and then when I came out the pits, I did about a lap, it was right, and then a Red Bull decided to try and overtake me, and was just weaving down the straight into me, and took off my wing, so I had to box again. That was very, very, very annoying. And then I So I boxed again, went about 10-ish laps, and then was caught back up to the Red Bull when they boxed. And then I go to overtake them down the straight, and they decide to weave. They did literally actively try and take me out, just weaving straight into the side of me, completely miss and send themselves in the wall, causing a safety car. So
yeah. For those of you unaware, I watched that all happen, and I immediately banned him from the server because I was like, yeah,
that was like,
there's no point
yeah.
in that person.
I was never going to do
Who
that
was
great,
that?
but that's just kind of insane. And then all of the front runners boxed, which was going to make me unlap myself, but one of the Ferraris didn't, so I ended up stuck behind them. I went into the pit lane, and obviously it's a slightly shorter route than if you were to go on normal track. So technically, I overtook the leader in the safety car, and before I could physically give the position back, I crossed the line at the pit lane. So I was in the pit lane, so I got instant DQ'd.
Yeah,
which is a bit annoying. But I was never going to do. I missed out on like 1 point maximum, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I will say I was doubtful of you moving to no line this race, but I'll definitely say for next season you absolutely should move to no line because the earliest you can get all the assists off is the better because as you develop as a driver, you want to not have to rely on the assists because I am still struggling with that with myself, where I still use line. So to be a better driver, you need to.
It's my final one.
Yeah, you need to get rid of all the assists eventually. But
yeah, it's my final one, so I should be good. Thanks.
Yeah, still a great result in the season. You finish only 8 points behind Ollie Bean, which I'm sure you'll take. And you also finish P2 in the LTJ Championship. And we'll move on to the driver who finishes P3 in the LTJ Championship. Northie, how'd that race go for you?
To be fair, that's my strongest race, I think. I was getting a nosebleed in P5 at one stage with the boxes. But no, learning curve this season. Obviously, just joining. No, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun to watch you. Also, you finished P3 in the LTJ Championship ahead of Paige, and I can't remember the other one. Mimic Games was the other one. So
yeah,
at least you're in the midfield of the LTJ Championship.
I'll take that. Next year I have Ellis. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll definitely, hopefully, we'll see all three of you who are currently in the chat towards the front of Tier 2. That'd be very fun to watch you's battle. We'll also move on to Ayub. Ayub, with that result, you jump up to P14 in the championship. Joined us relatively late on the season, but had a very good, strong end of the season, even with a P4 last time out. Ayub, how'd that race go for you today?
First, thank you everyone for that excited season. I really enjoyed it. I just want to say it was a very exciting race. The last laps were exciting. I totally didn't expect the safety car to come out, and luckily I had a soft tires in the last because I saved it from the qualifying. But I don't know why the game gave me a penalty for entering the pit lane, even though I didn't shorten the corner at the safety car. And in addition, the driver Ho Chi Minh collided with me. I think at the second sector, I was having a battle with Steven and Ho Chi Minh, as I remember. Also, as we say, that move from Ho Chi Minh has destroyed all of my hopes of getting a higher position after my bad start. The safety car helped me a lot, but I have some questions about the penalty given to me. But overall, all of the indicators were positive tonight, and I'm very satisfied with the result, even though I could have gotten a top 5 position. That's all.
Yeah, well, thank you, Abe. It was a strong race. You can get that penalty removed if you submit a ticket to the surge and also the race director as well.
Yeah. I will give a ticket about that.
And we'll see if you jump up any more positions. I think you could even jump ahead of Ollie Bean if you score enough points, but you would need to jump a couple of positions. Just in the championship, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you took out my penalty, I think I would be fifth in the rest of the race, as I think.
Well, hopefully we can see it, but that's been everything from us here in WHF round 12.
Yeah, can I just say something, please?
Sure.
I just want to say cheers, everyone, for having a good season. Sorry for my terrorism, another season again, and I'll see you guys on F126, hopefully.
All right, thank you, Lime. But we're going to move on now, and we're going to raid Adam Larkin, who's on the final lap of Austria Grand Prix race. But thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, this has been WHF Tier 2, and Ty is your champion here in Tier 2. But also, if you haven't followed yet, please do. The Tier 1 finale heads to Las Vegas tomorrow, and make sure to stay tuned for that. But thank you all for watching. I've been WHFO, and goodbye.